Good morning, friends. Pastor Kelly here with you for the Wednesday edition of Sound Bytes, continuing our series on trauma, grief, and loss. Our sub-series, Say What to Say, What Not to Say. The people who have lost, great losses in their life, trauma in their life, or are grieving. I do want to back up a little bit and just reiterate some things that I said really early on in this whole series. I understand that every trauma is different, every loss is different. Everyone grieves differently depending on who they are. Post-traumatic stress looks different on everybody. There may be some similarities and symptoms and that you'd call normal post-traumatic stress, but it comes in many different forms. And I have been filtering things through my own loss, the loss of our daughter, but I fully understand. I've never been in an abusive marriage, so you that might be your trauma, that might be your grief. I've never had to go through some of the things that you folks have gone through. I never lost my wife, my spouse. I've never had to go through that, so it's going to look different for you than it does for me, and I understand that. I keep using myself as an example. That's the only example I have because that's my life. But please, the principles I'm bringing out, I think, apply across the board, at least many of them. How about this one? Here's another good statement we hear quite often. The Lord never gives us more than we can handle. I don't know what to even say to that. I mean, I remember in the throes of grief, and someone said, the Lord never gives you more than you can handle. And I was numb, I was powerless, I was emotionless, I was purposeless, and I didn't think I was handling it too well. I find that in my life, I go to bed, I get up, and I live through it, especially in the early days. You get up, you go to bed, you get up again, you go to bed, get up again, and days pass, and weeks pass, and months pass. I don't remember ever handling anything. I remember the emotions being raw, and the triggers being many. I remember the post-traumatic stress being really real. I don't think I handle anything. Now, apparently I did, but as I'm going through it, I didn't feel so much in control. In fact, if anything, I felt absolutely out of control, and I think that's where God steps in and takes over for us, doesn't He? That's an amazing grace of God. In other words, I'm saying this: it's okay to be weak. It's okay. I say this a lot in church. It's okay to be human. Grief and loss and trauma and post-traumatic stress was never supposed to be part of the human design in the first place. And here's the last thing, and we'll move on to some different things, what to say and what to do on Friday and Monday. Try not to cry. He or she wouldn't want you to cry. How do you know that? How do you try not to cry when you are traumatized? How do you try not to cry when your world has crashed around you, or somebody who's been part of your life for your whole life is now gone, or somebody that you've had hopes and dreams with is taken away from you abruptly and suddenly and unexpectedly? How do you not cry? You just cry. We had a great devotion on the Zoom meeting last night, and we talked about tears and how tears are just I think as we get older and the losses pile up, the tears come quicker and quicker and quicker. Tears are part of the healing. Tears are part of the recovery. Don't try to subdue them. Don't try to squash them down. If they want to come, let them come. And if you're around somebody all of a sudden starts crying because of their loss, their trauma, their grief, whatever, just be there for them. Don't get uncomfortable. That's their life. That's the life they're living. Don't get uncomfortable. It's as normal could be. More about this on Friday. Bless you all. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.